Hello children, this is your art teacher Mrs. Ashwini Kumar, and today we are going to learn to make geometric art using 2D shapes. So I'm sure you're all aware of 2D shapes. 2D shapes are shapes with only two dimensions, usually length and width, and they lay flat on the surface and do not have any thickness. So we are just going to use basic shapes like circles, square, triangles, rectangles to make our geometric art. So let's start. So I am ready with my paper. I have made a rectangular shape, and all the 2D shapes that I am going to draw are going to be inside this rectangle. Now before I randomly start drawing the shapes, I would like to list down the shapes that I want to include in this drawing. Starting with circle. Circle, I would want to make 3 in this particular drawing. Square, I would want to make 2. Triangle, I would want to make 1, and I would also want to include a few curved lines. So curved lines, I would use say 2. Now I have the shapes that I want to draw ready. I have how many of them I want to draw also listed down and ready. Now when you're making any geometric art, preferably you should use a scale and a measuring scale. I'll tell you why. Because you want the lines to be perfectly straight, especially when you're making a square. You want all the sides to be equal, for which I'm going to use this measuring scale. So to start with, you can start with any shape you want. Today we can start with making circles. So I'm going to make 3 circles. You can make circles of all the same size, or you can make circles of different size. So let's start with making circles. I'm not going to measure making my circle. I'm just going to randomly draw the size and the position where I want randomly. So let's start by probably I want the center of the circle here, and let's start making the circle. For you to be able to see, I'm making these lines extremely dark, but when you draw your circles or your shapes, try and make them light. So if you can see, my circle is getting cut. That's what I want. I didn't want the circle to be in its entirety, so I have chosen a point where the circle gets a little cut. So this is probably the biggest circle that I would want to draw. Then I'll draw a smaller circle and a medium size circle. So the medium probably I want it here. Again, I don't want the entire circle, so I'll reduce the size, and probably my point will be somewhere here, and I'll start drawing the circle. Now the third circle, I want a smaller circle which probably cuts this circle, something like that. So let's start. Again, I'm going to reduce the size, and probably the center point is somewhere here. Okay. Now I have all my 3 circles placed ready how I want them. I'll move on to my next shape, which is square. I have decided that I'm going to use 2 squares. Again, you can use same size or you can use different size squares, for which now I'm going to need a measuring scale, because I want the square to be perfect. Now the first square, I want probably cutting this bigger circle. So let's measure. Say I want to have a 7 centimeters. So I'm going to measure 7 centimeters. And I'm going to make this square. The square is ready. Now I want to make another square, probably a very big square that cuts this circle and goes down right here. So let me see how big I would want to make the circle for it to cut, the square for it to cut the circle. Say around 12 centimeters. So let's mark 12 centimeters. Okay, now I have my two squares ready. I'll move on to another shape, which is the triangle. Now I'm going to use just one triangle. Now for the triangle, probably I want my triangle to be placed here somewhere. Not a very big triangle, a small, because it seems to be a little empty. So I'm going to place a triangle here. The triangle I'm not going to measure, but I will use the scale to make perfect lines. So that's one line, and I'll just mark a point wherever I want for the third angle of the triangle. So say somewhere here, and I'm just going to draw the lines to make the triangle. Okay, now triangle is ready. Now the only thing remaining are two curved lines which I need to place. So again, you're going to randomly place the curved line. So probably the first curved line, I want it to cross this circle and the square. And the second line, probably I want to cross this circle up till this corner. So probably I'll start from here. Okay, so my basic geometric art is ready. Again, I have made it quite dark for you to be able to see it, but you're going to make the shapes and the lines really light, so that when you color them, the lines do not show through and you have a flawless geometric art design. Now I would also like to show you in what various ways you could use geometric art to make designs. Now first is this. I have only used circles. There's no other shape. They are just different sizes of circles and placed randomly. Then you have geometric art which also looks like that. This is quite measured, so I have made a 8 inch by 8 inch square, and then I have divided it into 2 by 2 inches square to make into a grid. And in each grid I have made circles. Either I have made a semicircle or an entire circle, but each grid has a different kind of circle. When you're making something like this, make sure that your measurements are perfect and you use a measuring scale, because if your measurements are not perfect, this would not come out very nicely, and your points will not match while making the semicircle or the circle. So these are a few examples. You could try some of these at home. So next time when I see you again, we are going to start coloring our geometric art, and you can use any colors available to you. You can use watercolors, you can use oil pastels or crayons, or even color pencils. So that's it for today, children, and I'll see you in the next class. Thank you.